Hello and welcome to round 2 of Realish Racing's British Sports Prototype Cup. Last time out we had a thrilling pair of races in which James Parsalva completely dominated, but the championship leader and championship favourite isn't actually here today, so Tom Brooks, it looks like we're going to have a very wide open set of races today.
Yeah, going to be very, very interesting there, Nick. Here, of course, over in the west part of the country at Castle Combe, situated pretty near Bristol, actually, 1.85 mile circuit, 2.98 kilometres. With two 26-lap races to behold us today. And it will be interesting to see who will be the overall pace setter compared to James. As you mentioned, Nick, he really did dominate proceedings last time out for the inaugural round of the championship. So anybody's guess, really, as to who will be favourite going into these rounds.
Yep, and one of the people who's taken a claim is newcomer Sam Hill, who is on pole today, and we'll be seeing his pole lap in a couple of seconds.
Right, get a good run out the last corner to start the lap. Cross the line, keep the car to the left in the pit straight, slowly bring it across to cut the apex at the right. As you approach the next bit to the right, you want 2 wheels in the grass, don't lose too much momentum, bring it back to the left and brake, and change down 2 gears. Change to a 3rd gear as you go through the corner, and as the car runs out to the left, bring it back up to 3rd. Change up to 4th. And cut the grass with 2 wheels on the right, 2 wheels on the left. Hit the apex on the right, hit the 2nd apex on the right, and flat out towards the next corner. Up to 5th, keep it to the left as the track curls. As the track darkens, you want to get on the brakes, down 2 gears, hit the 2nd apex is here, miss the 1st. Let the car run out wide as you get on the throttle. Easy run through the next chicane. Up into 4th, back onto 5th as you hit the apex on the right, let the car run to the left. As you pass pit entry, you want to get off the throttle, change down a gear, hit the apex and get back on the throttle again. Let the car run to the left and across the line for a 56.153.
So Sam Hill, a newcomer to Realish Racing, but definitely no newcomer to sim racing, sets the pace early on. And here we are, we're going to see the grid very shortly. Sam Hill there, joined by Arunas Linkovacius on row 1 beside him. Lee Harrison of the Offenders, his teammate not here, so he'll be looking to steal a march on him, but he's only on row 2 at the moment. RlyR Racing Team, another cracking qualifying performance by them on row 3, as is by Jamie Hunt, who's there in 8th position for the Defenders. And then slowly behind him is Alex Odell, who raced pretty well last time in race 2, so might see a few more overtaking spectacular manoeuvres from him. Kai Butsu there locking out the row behind him. Rob Covey, pretty good qualifying performance by the Canadian, joined by April Dillon, who, as we always say, usually races better than she qualifies. And Pete Walker there for Power Team in 16th, got a lot to catch up there. Thomas Alderton of Team Atten there on row 10, joined by Matt Davies, who's been sandwiched by the 2 PSP Motorsports cars. Behind them is Dave Morley for Red Scarf Racing, and as usual, the Northern Monkeys at the back, taking up 22nd and 24th position.
Yep, so an interesting grid, of course. They're not on board with the pole position man Sam Hill, the 00, of course, on his car, so pretty distinguishable number, I should say. And Linkovacius actually on pole on the front row beside him. It's going to be very, very interesting with the drag down to the first corner.
And looks like Lee Harrison has actually overshot his pit box there, so he's going to have to, there he is, he's reversing back in so he doesn't incur the wrath of the stewards.
Simple mistake to make, but not something that they'll be penalised for, I'm sure. Got it sorted pretty quickly, at least. Last of the cars coming to the back of the field. Northern Monkey Racing going towards the back then. So the 3 red lights will come on. Then we'll be racing here at Castle Combe. Sam Hill on the left, Linkovacius on the right, and it's away we go. A good start from Linkovacius. Then he gets away very, very well indeed. Leading in towards turn 1, it is Sam Hill, but Linkovacius and Lee Harrison trying to challenge with Bjorn Golder there in 4th, about to go up to 3rd position potentially, heading in towards the next right-hander. And down the straight of Avalerion Rise into the right-hander. It's Golder up to 3rd. Into the barrier there. That's Rob Covey of number 43. And I think that may be Thomas Alderton who's gone round now as well. It is indeed of the Team Atom, number 40. And Tom Collentine also caught up in there with the number 5 as well. Meanwhile, number 13, that of course is Neil Heatley, the Scottish driver, with Tom White just ahead of him at the moment. And now being challenged, I think, by one of the Northern Monkey
like
Racing.
Kai Butsu's.
It is Kai Butsu cars, my apologies. So that's
Campbell Wallace trying to go around the outside.
So the two cars there interlocked in a battle going through the left and the right-hander. And number 91 of James Lambert, Tronco Motorsports, not too far behind now as well, looking to spoil the party for the Kaibitsu drivers. So there we are in 13th position is James Lambert, looking to crack his way up into the points. Up the inside of Neil Heatley then. Will he be able to get them moved up? That is fantastic. Nearly in between both of the cars. A yellow flag now as well. Around the final corner they go. And that's Neil Heatley off into the grass. And another one of the, that's number 13 as well. So my apologies, Neil Heatley ahead. Campbell Wallace now in 12th and James Lambert in 11th position at the moment, but an action-packed first lap it was there, Nick.
Yeah, they're just bouncing all over the place, and still these three cars completely glued to each other. There's no room really for them to fit on the same piece of track, and we've seen them go across the grass quite a few times, but now James Lambert seems to got free slightly of the Kaibitsu Racing team. In fact, he's making Neil Heatley run wide there. He doesn't seem to lose too much pace though, so not too much disadvantage for going offline. Maybe someone will have to reel him in for that. There is Jamie Hunt there. Wow, we're banging wheels there with one of the RlyR Racing teams. So that is Manuel de Samaniego. So Jamie Hunt makes up into 7th position already.
Yeah, great start from Hunt, a driver, of course, who started from the back of the grid last time out at Donington Park for the inaugural round of the championship. He, of course, did not set a time in qualifying, so really good to see his true pace, of course, in the race. Looks to have the match of the cars now up into 7th position, just ahead of Manuel de Samaniego, who went off around the final corner. So really pushing very hard is the number 6 there, and looking to get ahead back of Jamie Hunt once again, not too far behind, of course. I believe that is April Dillon, or one of the junior motorsport cars at least, perhaps. Let's have a quick look coming through the shot now. And April Dillon there, so she's actually further down the order than I thought. So Dillon there in 14th position, just behind the two Kaibitsu cars. Campbell Wallace in the forefront as well. And still those drivers going absolutely hammer and tongue at the moment. Around the outside, looks to go Campbell Wallace. Oh, running a bit wide there. So that's, oh, he spins round now as well. So Campbell Wallace going spinning around and down the order, I'm afraid to say, for the number 64. And he, Nick, is going to have to wait for the retaining traffic to go all the way through to be able to get back underway.
Yeah, he's been not taking liberties, but he's been very daring with the grass. Not entirely his fault, as we see Neil Heatley, another person, go too wide there onto grass, and he as well spins round. So we saw quite a few trips across the grass in the first lap, and not to anyone's real disadvantage, but now we are seeing the cars being punished for the excursions onto the green stuff.
Yeah, really proving to be a bit of a race of attrition so far. Only on lap 4 out of 26. Neil Crawford there in the 222, of course. Campbell Wallace's teammate with April Dillon not too far behind. So Dillon's profited from this. She's gone up a position now and is right up towards the points, lower points paying positions, I should say. Through the quick right and left-hander goes Crawford then, and has pulled a bit of a gap out to April Dillon, I must say, actually. So Dillon looks to be struggling with the car at the moment. On board with her we go now. The number 314 has got number 71 of Pete Walker just behind. Looking up the inside as Walker. That's going to be a great move. Is there going to be a bit of contact? That's very, very close. Dillon not being able to defend her position, or is she? That's a very, very brave defence, and just loses the rear coming out of the right and left-hander there of Bobby's.
Yeah, it looked like she's going to be able to hang with him and go side by side, but just a bit of a snappy oversteer moment, and Pete Walker takes the position away. We've seen before that he's quite good at overtaking cars. Here's April Dillon's view of the start. Wow, it really was, oh, that's what happened to her. Looks like she was going to make a few positions, but just had to catch the slide a bit and got a bit caught out. Here's Thomas Alderton. Now we're going to see him. Yeah, just loses the rear end, yeah, and then Tom Collantine's going to tap him here.
That was very, very close. Tom Alderton, of course, is a rookie driver in the series, so still learning the ropes, I should say. Here's Tom Collantine's view of the crash, and there we are, nowhere for him to go, I'm afraid to say, for the number 5. Northern Monkey Racing still down towards the back of the pack. Meanwhile, De Samaniego there, just behind Alex O'Dell. O'Dell running as high as 6th, so that's very impressive for the power driver at the moment, of course, with Jamie Hunt not too far behind. So a battle going on for 6th position at the moment, potentially. Will De Samaniego be able to close up on Alex O'Dell? Coming around the final corner they go of Camp Bend, across the start-finish line to go in towards the right-hander of Folly. 20 laps remaining, of course, of the race here. Further down the order, Neil Heatley in 17th, Niall O'Connell in 18th there, so not really much progress being made. Neil Heatley, of course, has gone a bit further backwards, I'm afraid to say, from his qualifying position, so work to do nonetheless for him at the moment. But very, very interesting it was off the start there, Nick, but everything seemingly sort of settling down now, at least, or for the time being, of course, because De Samaniego is really on a charge against O'Dell. Yeah, everyone's just taking a little breather before the next phase of action can take place. What we've got here is that situation where the car in front of the other one is the slower one, so we have De Samaniego trying to get by Alex O'Dell, but of course he's got to watch out because
Jamie Hunt is more than ready to take a position away from him. And look how much confidence he has through the S's here.
O'Dell running very, very wide through the right and the left-hander of the S's. Through Old Paddock Bend they go. And, sorry, my apologies, through Westway they go, I should say. And around the final corner, De Samaniego then up into 6th place ahead of Alex O'Dell. So great bit of overtaking there from the Mexican driver. Lee Harrison now looking to challenge, I believe, that's Joe Nathan. It must be, of course, of the RlyR Racing team. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see how this goes. Through the right-hander they go of Folly, through down Avon Rise, rather, in towards the left, and then the right of Quarry. Very, very quick part of the track.
Not really any way he can get by at the moment. It seems to have a bit of a run in him at first, but maybe it's just Joe Nathan a bit of a mistake, or Lee Harrison just happens to be quicker on that part of the circuit. In fact, it does look like he's gaining a little bit of ground here, and it's through this quick little right-left here that he does seem to be making up most of his pace.
Yeah, so number 26, Joe Nathan. Just coming around the final corner they go. Lee Harrison looking at the inside for number 7.
Oh.
Nathan shuts the door at the last moment. There's a bit of contact around the final corner. That's very, very close between those two. In towards turn 1 of Folly then. Thinks better of it does. Lee Harrison bides his time and will live to fight again another day. So not too much longer left of this battle, I would anticipate. Meanwhile, Bjorn Golden now under threat from Linkevicius. Of course, the rookie driver, Arunas Linkevicius, he's raced on various other sim racing things. No wonder he has bounced into the top of the category for the British SP Cup, and is proving to be very, very quick indeed. He had a dominant display, of course, at Donington Park, and is continuing that theme now in this race. So number 8, Linkevicius there in the very distinctive Tropico Motorsport livery car through the right, and then the left-hander chicane of Bobby's. And just coming around in towards the final part of the lap to cross the start-finish line once again. Meanwhile, crossing back to the action between Joe Nathan and Lee Harrison. Around the final corner they go, number 26 versus number 7. And again, Lee Harrison still biding his time and living to fight another day. He's dropped a little bit further back, I should say there, Nick, on Joe Nathan at the moment, has Lee Harrison. So a bit of time left for him to make up. And oh, that's not what Linkevicius wants to go. Round the, he goes around the right into the right-hander and just clipping the grass, it looked like, heading in towards the right-hander there. I believe that was off Quarry. And look at that as well. Jamie Hunt and Tom White coming to blows now. Yeah,
we'll have to see a replay of that, but both of them just went steaming straight into the barrier there. And quite an odd incident. We'll definitely have to see what happened there. Maybe they came together trying to go side by side.
Oh, blimey, we just caught the back end of the incident there. Thank goodness for very strong straw bales by the looks of things, because that could have been a very, very nasty incident. Nonetheless, both drivers continuing, probably with a bit of damage to their car. Here's on board with Jamie Hunt then. Maybe this will give us a clearer view of the incident through the left. Oh,
gets hit.
He does indeed. So Tom White there probably should know better, really. I mean, very difficult to judge the incident. Maybe he was a bit squeezed by Jamie Hunt. Here we are. Let's have a look at Tom White's view. So going through the right-hander. No, just I think he lost the rear of the car, as a matter of fact. Actually, a bit of a slight twitch for number 25. So that's really going to put pay to both their races. Jamie Hunt was running so strongly, and Tom White, nonetheless. Are they going into the pit lane now? The two junior motorsports drivers. Oh dear, that's very close contact between the two junior motorsport drivers of April Dillon and Tom White now, battling for the top 10 positions. Up the inside, does April Dillon look? Will the Swede be able to get ahead of the Briton? Indeed, she does for the time being. And now look at this, Jamie Hunt coming into the foray as well. So a battle potentially for 9th place as well. Up the inside. Oh, Jamie Hunt losing the rear onto the right-hander there. Has to think about what he's going to do next, of course, in towards the right and the left-hander off the Essex. Meanwhile, the battle's still going on. Tom White up the inside, maybe, of April Dillon. No way through there for the number 25, losing the rear out of there as well now. And look at that, Dave Morley, I think that is coming into play as well. So lap 10 out of 26, Nick. It's all kicking off.
Well, it's just such a fast and tight circuit that you're just seeing people make just the slightest on the knife edge, really, these cars, and the slightest little mistake can send you flying, and we're really seeing the benefits of that. Meanwhile, here's the two RlyR Motorsports cars fighting for the lead, and they definitely don't want to give any crash into each other. In fact, it looks like Bjorn Gold is going to make a move for the lead, and Sam Hill is really going to have to kind of be careful about it here, because they don't want to take away the team's first 1-2.
A very dominant display, I must say, from the RlyR Motorsport team. So Golder, the German, moves ahead of the Scotsman Sam Hill. So very, very impressive from Golder. We've always known he's been a very quick driver, had a bit of a difficult berth into the V8 Australia cars nonetheless. He did take a podium, of course, in the latter part of last season, but he has proven to be very, very quick so far in these radicals, really getting them by the scruff of the neck and driving them exactly how they should be. Very, very harshly indeed. So a great bit of driving there from Golder, but Sam Hill's not going to take things lying down there. there, Nick. He's looking all over the back of his teammate, and they have to be very, very careful. Coming to blows with your teammate, as we saw in Donington Park, of course, for the last round, is not something that you want to do, and we saw that quite a few times, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it looks like Sam Hill probably... He was a few seconds ahead, and suddenly, when we joined back to him, Bjorn Golder closed right up. So maybe it is just that he made a mistake, and he does have the pace on Golder, because he's following very closely here, and Golder, see, both of them using every inch of track they possibly can. None of them dare to give anything to their teammate, and looks like Samuel's going to line up Bjorn Golder. Is he going to try and do something clever around the outside, or maybe try and do a switchback? It just tucks around the outside. I don't think he's going to get it managed to do there, but he can try and... No, see, he tried to go all the way around the outside and have the inside for the next corner, but Bjorn Golder, a bit too wise for that move.
Well, Castle Combe, of course, is a very, very quick circuit. Slipstreaming really is coming into play, as you can see at the moment. Golder still just defending from his teammate, but nonetheless, really proving that slipstreaming is the order of the day. I think that was Thomas Alderson we just crossed by in the pits as well, so problems potentially for the Northern Monkey Racing driver. On board with Golder going over the crest of the hill in towards the right-hander of Quarry. Shifting down the box a couple of gears, and then back up once again. He'll come in for the S's in just a couple of moments' time. Stick it over towards the left-hand side of the track, in towards the right. A bit wide through there for Sam Hill, so he's going to have lost a bit of time, or is he actually? Because he got a very promising exit out of there, despite running a little bit wide. So, nonetheless, from Sam Hill, this is where the slipstream comes into effect. In towards the right-hander they go of Tower. We're heading into Bobby's once again in just a couple of moments' time. Through they go. And out on towards Westway, down the Dean straight in towards the final corner. Once again, of course, a very, very short lap here, under a minute, as we saw on board with that poleman. Sam Hill looking up the inside, looking every which way he can to get ahead of Bjorn Golder. Down the front straight they come, in towards the first right-hander of Folly. Down Avon right they go. Sam Hill up the inside of Bjorn Golder. Is he going to be able to get the move stuck there side by side, going through the left, and then the right-hander in towards Quarry they go. He has a great bit of overtaking there from Sam Hill up the inside of his teammates, and the rookie displacing the very experienced Bjorn Golder. So nonetheless, cracking racing between the two teammates, and very, very clean as well.
Yeah, and all the meanwhile, Joe Nathan's behind them waiting to pounce if they came together, but very clean racing side by side through the opening section of that. And Sam Hill showing a great deal of level-headedness in that manoeuvre.
Yeah, very promising to see. Lap 14 out of 26, so 12 laps remain here at Castle Combe, the 1.85 mile circuit. Very picturesque conditions, as you can see at the moment. A bit overcast, but aside from that, not too bad. Of course, the track being very short, it's very easy to run into lap traffic, and that, of course, is what the two leaders will contend with as well. Meanwhile, on board with Tom White, who's battling now with Dave Morley through the right, and then the left-hander they go. Oh, very sideways there from Tom White. Around he goes and into the barrier. That's very disappointing from the number 25. The Junior Motorsports Drivers race goes from bad to worse, and he goes tumbling down the order. Nick, he is having a bit of a torrid one.
Yeah, sometimes we see this with Tom White. He just has one little accident and it sort of seems to compound itself as Cam Wallace takes another position away from him. Or does he? Looks like Tom White is actually going to switch back on him and keep ahead of him. Yes, in fact he does. So he's fallen behind Pete Walker there. And there's Jamie Hunt, who was obviously involved in an incident with Tom White. So both of them recovering, trying to come through the field. Here's Jamie Hunt now trying to find a way by Campbell Wallace, but looks like, oh, he has in fact managed to do it. Campbell Wallace went a bit too wide, scrubbed off a bit too much speed, and Jamie Hunt's just gone through. So only one more place and Jamie Hunt will be back in the points.
Yeah, so much promise for Hunt at the start of this race, and it's all gone tumbling down for him, I'm afraid to say, down in 13th place. Meanwhile, look at that! Blimey, O'Reilly. He's battling back, though, is Campbell Wallace, really looking to have the bit between his teeth as we come in towards the final 10 laps of this race. Jamie Hunt now back down to 14th. Campbell Wallace up into 13th place, so still outside the points, but you'd think they were battling for the championship at the moment, Nick, and you can see on screen just how hard Jamie Hunt is pushing.
Yeah, none of them has given up anything to any of their competitors. There's Bjorn Golder on board with. So where's Sam Hill ahead of him? Or is it? No, he's still in second place. So Sam Hill must have gained quite a bit of a gap on him. In fact, there we do see a fastest lap there by Sam Hill halfway through the race. So the tyres are falling off a bit, but the fuel is coming down more, which is what we'd like to see.
Oh, no! Contact into the back of Ben Haddleton there for Bjorn Golder. That was a very mistimed lapped move on the number 777 of Northern Monkey Racing. He wasn't particularly threatening, was Ben Haddleton, I'm afraid to say, but nonetheless, that was very, very mistimed. Maybe we'll get a replay of that at some point, but nonetheless, that was very, very disappointing from Golder. Just very unsighted. Here we are then, Nick, on board with number 777.
Yeah, just look, it did look initially that Ben Haddleton was slowing down to move by. Ben Haddleton is quite a generous driver when he's been lapped, but a bit too far back, and Bjorn Golder just looks like he's misread the situation. And now we're back with Joe Nathan on the final podium place, but look who's coming back up to him. It's Lee Harrison, and not far behind him is Arunas Linkovacius, and then the RlyR Racing teammate of Manuel Samaniego.
Yeah, it's very, very close between these guys. One slight mistake could signal a change in the final podium position, but Lee Harrison's really, really closing up on Joe Nathan, it must be said. So Nathan could be conserving his fuel. He could be running out of tyres, of course. He did push very hard in the early stages of this race, and as we come in towards the final 10th of the racing here, it's anyone's game really for the final podium position, of course. And Bjorn Golder's not actually too far ahead of number 26 Joe Nathan as well, Nick, so that could be interesting to see. Nathan could be going tumbling down the order. Meanwhile, Lee Harrison could be as high as second come the end of this race if things go his way.
Yeah, there's not really much choice between them, and one small mistake on the circuit, as we've seen, can lose you several positions. But looks like Joe Nathan, he does appear to be struggling a little bit with tyre wear. You can push these, but you can't really use them 100% every lap, otherwise they will die on you. Lee Harrison, of course, we've seen before, is quite good at handling his tyres, so it could be that we see him make a late race charge to the podium. Meanwhile, here's Arunas Linkovacius.
Oh, who's that going off? Is that Golder? It is! Oh, no! Bjorn Golder from second position goes tumbling down the order. I didn't quite catch the instant of what happened there, but that is going to be a massive impact for him on this race. Down to sixth position, he's still in the points and still in the top 10, well inside the top 10 as a matter of fact, but that could be catastrophic for RlyR Motorsports. Here we are then, on board with him. Is he going to be a contact there with... Oh dear, that was very unsight. I think it might actually have been Matt Davies, of course, of PSP Motorsports, who was very unsighted. Matt Davies travelling very, very slowly, and Golder just had nowhere to go, Nick. Here we go.
Yeah, it looked like Matt Davies actually had a little off himself and was going slowly. Bjorn Golder trying to go around the outside of him, went a bit too far and just went straight smack into barriers, spinning around very violently. Oh, he's retiring.
Yeah, he's going to have terminal damage to that car. I'm not surprised. The clout he took into the barrier, that is pretty much inevitable, I'm afraid to say. So RlyR Motorsports 1-2, their perfect race of race one here at Castle Combe looks to go down the pan, I'm afraid to say, and it's now down to the sole runner of Sam Hill, who is comfortably leading this race. So that means that Joe Nathan is now in second, Lee Harrison in third, and Arunas Linkovacius, rather, I apologise, is now in fourth, with De Samaniego not too far behind in fifth. So 7 laps rather, I should say, remaining, just coming on to 6 laps remaining, and Golder there, I think, will maybe look to exit the pit lane. Maybe he did get the damage repaired, but nonetheless, he's going to be seriously out of the points now, is the German. So he's got race 2, of course, to make things up, but he does get going again. So, Nick, that's very impressive. I was very surprised to see that.
It's always good to see. It looks like he won't have a good starting position for the next race either, but over the race he's just carrying on with things and see if he can get a bit more fun out of the day. Here's Niall O'Connell for PSP. He's joined by his teammate there, and looks like one of the RlyR Racing team, so actually these are lap traffic here, so they're forming kind of a PSP kind of roadblock here as they're fighting between themselves, and the leader's trying to get through, and Matt Davies actually tags his teammate and spins a little bit. Oh, and he's just made it even worse there.
Yeah, so easy to do. The initial thought when you spin the car up is to slam on the brakes, and unfortunately when you do lose these cars, having tested them, I have to say when you do lose the rear, they are pretty much gone, and that's someone else off as well. I think that might be Ben Haddleton. Is that his second incident of the race for Northern Monkey Racing, travelling very slowly as well. So Ben Haddleton looks to be struggling, especially in these latter stages of the race, with Rob Covey, I believe it is there, of the RlyR Racing outfit. It is indeed battling for 19th place of these guys, so very, very close at the moment between number 43, the Canadian, and Ben Haddleton as well. Looking around the outside is the number 777 in towards the final corner of Camp Bend. No way through there for him at the moment, going a bit wide there though, and that's going to send him into the barrier up the inside, is it? He's just going to avoid it by the looks of things, but he's going to go spinning down the order, and he's going to have a big old flat spot on his tyres by the looks of things as well, and he's lost all that ground, unfortunately, Nick, that he made up against Rob Covey.
Yeah, they were locked in quite a good battle there, and it's a shame to see that happen, but pretty spectacular how it went round, but pretty impressive at the same time. He managed to stop it facing the correct direction. So Manuel de Samaniego under pressure here by Arunas Linkovacius. In fact, we're going to see a replay. This is Arunas running wide, and that's how Manuel got by him in the first place, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so Linkovacius, let's have a look at the overtake then. It's de Samaniego, clean as you like, up the inside, or is it clean as you like? That was very close, I must say.
Sparks.
Through the left of the right-hander in towards Quarry. Great bit of overtaking. Someone just coming on off the going off the circuit, rather, I should say, in the foreground of the shot there. Meanwhile, crossing back to live action. So Joe Nathan in second place, Lee Harrison in third at the moment, and then of course we have the other RlyR Racing driver in the form of De Samaniego in 4th place with Linkevicius, who we're on board with now. In towards the right and the left-hander they go. Oh, running very wide. So is Linkevicius' tyres, are they going off now, Nick?
Yeah, it looked like he was suffering from sudden severe understeer through there, so it could be that this is the best position he's going to be able to finish with.
Let's have a look on board. A bit of understeer going through the car there as well by the looks of things. Does look to be quite unbalanced, I must say. So Linkevicius' performance in this race looks to be dwindling somewhat, unfortunately. 4 laps remaining, of course, here at Castle Combe.
Actually, he is holding on to the back of him, so maybe I spoke too soon. Of course, it only takes a tiny mistake, and Mano de Samaniego could be in the barriers and Linkevicius promoted position. Back for the final points position is Popplewell and Heatley.
Yeah, here's someone we haven't talked about all race. Adam Popplewell in 12th position, actually having a very good race for the number 67, so very impressive. And Neil Heatley, though, looking to spoil the party all over the back bumper of the rookie at the moment. Heading in towards the right-hander, I believe that is, of Tower, just before Bobby's. Looks around the outside, very, very ragged, and on the edge is number 13, Neil Heatley there, through the right, and then the left-hander they go. And Adam Popplewell holding his own and displaying some very, very defensive and very good driving from the rookie in this series so far, of course. And they've got Sam Hill not too far behind as well, so they're going to have to be very careful, of course, whilst being interlocked in their own battle, not to get in the way of the leader, as that is Sam Hill going off out of the final corner.
Wow.
I don't think he'll lose too much time, but that really is displaying how much the tyres are going off in these latter stages of the race, Nick. It's really proven to be detrimental even to those who are comfortably out front.
Yeah, and he was kind of lucky it didn't force him into half spin, because that could have been compounded and completely taken him out of the race. We've already seen his teammate suffer heavy damage and been taken completely out of it. Meanwhile, Neil Heatley still trying to get by Popplewell. There's just no way by at the moment, but he's trying to force him to. In fact, he has forced him into a little bit of a mistake. He's got the inside line, and they're bumping wheels together here.
Yeah, a bit of contact between them two, but that was great opportunist driving from Neil Heatley to the final points position, but Popplewell not taking things lying down. In towards Bobby's they go once again. Will Popplewell be able to fight back, because he's got Tom White now for company as well. So White, of course, who's been had an instant patch race, I'm afraid to say, is now looking to get himself up, potentially into 13th position overall. Number 25 against number 67, of course, and now Sam Hill coming into play as well. So the lap driver of the car lapping them, of course, Sam Hill is looking to get ahead, and they don't want to hold him up too much, otherwise they may incur the wrath of the stewards with the final couple of laps to go in this race. Tom White sensibly gets out of the way. Popplewell, he's a new driver in this series, so it's anybody's guess at the moment. I think that's Ben Hamilton having yet another off as well. Who's that going off? That's no, it's Samaniego from 5th position, Nick.
Oh, just what I just said just a minute ago. You know, sudden mistake, and he's in the barriers, and it looks like it might be his race run.
Yeah, it looks pretty terminal if you ask me. That was quite a clout he took into the barrier. Engine is running, just got it into gear, so took him a couple of seconds just to get things righted. He'll be very, very lucky if he hasn't got any damage. I should imagine he probably does. Let's have a look at the incident then. He's chasing down Linkevicius, going through the left and the right-hander. Oh, and just clipped the grass, and it's so easy to do so. As soon as you've got a tank slapper on there is often no way of being able to save these cars at high speed. And just for added insult to injury, we've got Sam Hill crossing, just going past him as well. So there we are, on board with Linkevicius then, who's now in 4th position, I do indeed believe, looking to challenge Lee Harrison for the final podium position. So this could be a great last lane overtake, Nick, going through the left and then the right-hander in towards Corey.
Harrison's made a mistake.
Harrison gone wide, so Linkevicius then gets the final podium position, or does he? Because Harrison's not going to take things lying down. In towards the right and then the left-hander they go off the S's. Will Harrison be able to launch a move? He's got the bit between his teeth now in the final couple of the final few corners of this race. And now down in towards the part of the lap where it's so important to be able to get the slipstream, and that is exactly what Lee Harrison has got, and exactly what Linkevicius needs. In towards the right-hander, and then the left of Bobby's they go. Look at Lee Harrison, he's all over the back bumper of number 8 at the moment. Will he be able to look and launch a move? He's only got a couple more opportunities left to do so.
There's Nathan's blocking the way.
It's very, very close. Sam Hill takes the victory nonetheless, and there we are. It's very, very close.
Nathan goes
my
off.
goodness gracious me! That's Linkevicius. They're taking 2nd, and now Lee Harrison takes 3rd. What a disaster for Joe Nathan from 2nd position all the way down to about 4th, Nick.
Oh, I wasn't even sure he'd crossed the line to finish 4th there, but with 2nd position, it was losing so much tyre life you could see, and he was blocking the other two trying to battle amongst themselves, and just loses it at the edge there, and suddenly he's off from 2nd place, he's off the podium. But here's our race winner, Samuel. What a dominant display.
A fantastic result for the rookie in the series. I really did think he'd do well coming into this race, and certainly has proved to do so. He was always a favourite, having looked at the testing times, I must say, but a really, really dominant display from the Scotsman, and certainly one, Nick, to keep an eye out for the rest of the championship.
Yeah, Sam Hill, the 00, of course, 0 in Formula 1 made famous by Damon Hill, so carrying on the name there, although no relation, obviously. So quite a few retirements we see there in the pits, as we see Joe Nathan's car still stricken there on the finish line. It's just a miracle he even managed to cross it in time.
That was unbelievable. What a finish they had. So Sam Hill takes the victory overall. 20 points in the bag. Linkevicius in second. Then comes Harrison, Nathan, De Samaniego, Lambert, Odell, Dylan in 8th. Dave Morley, great result for him, the Red Scarf Racing
nice.
driver.
Didn't even see that, yeah.
In 9th, very quiet race. Cabba Wallace rounding out the top 10. Then comes Heatley in 11th, Pete Walker in 12th, Adam Popperwell, a great result there for the rookie in 13th, just outside the points, and a lap down overall. But a cracking race we had there, Nick.
Yeah, well, you didn't know where to look for the action, and it was just shoved down your face before you could even catch your breath from the previous one. But, well, there's that saying about, you know, if you can keep your head, well, everyone about you loses theirs, and that's exactly the story of Sam Hill's victory there.
Golder finishes as a dejected 15th position, a disappointing result for the Aureus Motorsport driver. But nonetheless, of course, we'll have more action in just a couple of moments' time for race 2 here at Castle Combe.
The Realish Racing British Sports Prototype Cup is brought to you by WTF1.co.uk and sensiblegaming.com.
Welcome back to round 2 of Realish Racing's British SP Cup at Castle Combe. We had a thrilling first race, non-stop action, heart in your mouth moment, and a last corner battle for second position, which ended up with Joe Nathan spinning across the line, having lost 2 positions in the final straight.
Yeah, certainly was something to behold. That is very, very unfortunate for Joe Nathan. But it is April Dillon who finished in 8th position and will start on pole position for this race. And then joined by Alex Odell in power. The power team, of course, on the front row. Then comes Lambert, De Samaniego, Joe Nathan in 5th, Lee Harrison in 6th, Linkevicius in 7th, Sam Hill 8th, Dave Morley 9th, Cabba Wallace in 10th. And then it's as you were pretty much, of course, for the rest of the results. Bjorn Golder there, Nick, down in 15th place. Who'd have thought that going in towards the second race?
Yeah, it's a shame when you suffer a retirement in race 1, it completely ruins your entire race weekend, because of course the grid for race 2 is set by the results of the first race, only with the top 8 reversed. So Bjorn Golder has a lot to do, but we've seen a lot of pace from him, and from a fan's perspective, when you get a fast driver stuck down in the field, it usually means lots of action to come.
Yeah, most certainly does. So the cars lining up on the grid. They're just about to join it now, of course, and we'll have another race underway here at Castle Combe. But it'll be interesting to see how Alex Odell does fare. He had a cracking second race at Donington Park, and I do wonder whether he can repeat that feat here at Castle Combe then for another 26 action-packed laps. So race 4 of 16 is about to get underway. 3 lights on. It's Dillon on the left-hand side and Odell on the right. Lights out, and away we go here at Castle Combe. A great start from Linkevicius then off the second row of the grid, and a good start also from April Dillon heading in towards turn 1. Look at that, Odell looking around the outside, being swallowed up by Linkevicius and one of the RlyR Racing cars as well. Everyone away cleanly through turn 1, heading in towards the left and the right hander they go. All sorts of action now. Odell around the outside, I believe, of De Samaniego, and contact
4 cars off.
That is a lot of drama going on. That must be Matt Davies caught up in there. I think Thomas Alderton as well. So his weekend goes from bad to worse, unfortunately. But look at that. It's Odell in 3rd position, just defending from De Samaniego. And not too far behind, of course, we've got Lee Harrison in 5th position as
going to go for the lead.
And look at this around the outside, potentially, look at that, nearly 3 wide for the lead. Heading in towards the right hander they go of Tower, in towards Bobby's. It's still Dillon who leads the way from Linkevicius, from Odell, and now De Samaniego coming into play as well, so we could have a 4-way, even 5-way scrap for the lead. Heading in towards the final turn they go now as well, and Sam Hill swallowed up and looking to get ahead of Lee Harrison on the opening lap. Heading in towards turn 1 they go of Folly, no way through there for him. Odell looking around the outside, Linkevicius just looking to get ahead of Joe Nathan in towards the right, and then the left-hander they go into Quarry. They come now, and Linkevicius up the inside of Joe Nathan. A great bit of overtaking there from the number 8 on the number 26. But that, Nick, was a very, very action-packed opening lap.
Yeah, and it's certainly not over at all. Here we have the RlyR Racing team, Manuel De Samaniego, still trying to get by Alex Odell. Whilst we were busy looking at that incident earlier with the 4 cars off, Alex Odell performed a brilliant manoeuvre to get by both RlyR Racing teams around the outside. But now he's just hanging on to this position because he doesn't have his
contact Odell into the barrier. That's unbelievable. Odell going around, contact with De Samaniego. That was a very mistimed braking zone there from the RlyR Racing driver. Is he going to slow up and wait for Odell to go through? He will be livid inside the crash helmet, will Odell, and that is really going to put pace in his race. Such promise he had after starting on the front row of the grid, and now it's all gone to pot, I'm afraid to say, for the 30-year-old from Bedfordshire. Meanwhile, it's still Dylan who leads ahead of Linkevicius, and then comes, of course, Lee Harrison in third position with one of the RlyR Racing cars that, of course, must be Joe Nathan not too far behind. Look at Golder on the recovery drive, just looking to get ahead of Dave Morley. In towards the right-hander of Bobby's they go. And clean as you like for Golder. Great bit of overtaking there, up into 7th place. Dave Morley started in 9th, and now starts, of course, now up into 8th place after that start. And a yellow flag now as well. Hooks that off. That is a massive crash. My goodness gracious me. Let's have a look. It's Jamie Hunt and Thomas Alderton. Oh dear. And Thomas Alderton once again caught up in some strife as well. Lap 3 out of 16. Here's a go, Nick.
Yeah. Oh, Jamie Hunt just hit the barrier there. Wow.
And flips over the barrier into the oblivion. So Jamie Hunt then looks to have his race run. Pretty much have his race run. I'd be very surprised if he can make it back from there. Let's have a look. Oh, dearie me. Blimey. Camera goes off and everything, and look at that, missing some front bodywork and some front wheels as well. So Jamie Hunt, very clearly by the looks of things there, Nick, out of this race.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to get back in the action anytime soon, but glad to see he's actually okay, and they've completely ripped the front wheel off. We haven't really seen that before. Here's Rob Covey's view of the start, and that's where we saw the 4-car pile-up. Yeah, it was Matt Davies there.
He went straight into the back of the driver ahead of him, and that caused a concertina effect. Here's Tom Alderton's view of the crash. So Rob Covey just in the front of it, and yeah, there we go. Oh, and it was actually a chain reaction of Jamie Hunt going off there as well, and Tom Alderton just being in the wrong place at the wrong time by the looks of things.
Yeah, it looks like he tried to escape everything and unwittingly forced Jamie Hunt off with him. So here's Linkevicius, who we thought was actually at the front, but it appears actually he's in 9th position.
Yeah, so Linkevicius looks to have had a bit of an incident then off screen that we haven't seen. So he's gone tumbling down the order. Unfortunately, was sitting in 2nd place and is now down into the lower paying top 10 position. So that's disappointing. James
Lambert. So maybe we confused the two there.
We did indeed by the looks of things. So James Lambert then in 2nd place. By the looks of things, it's Lee Harrison then in 3rd. So apologies for that. That was a bit of a confusion on our part, as well, of course, as Joe Nathan, who's very close behind these three. So a 3-way battle for 2nd place. Lee Harrison looking to get ahead of Lambert, then heading in towards turn 1. And now, of course, we've got, is that De Samaniego? It is De Samaniego. Sorry, it is Joe Nathan as well. So De Samaniego looking around the outside, of course, of number 7.
Ooh.
Very deep on the brakes there for Harrison, Nick.
Yeah, it looks like he's been a bit erratic.
Yep, in towards the right and the left-hander they go off the S's then. Just to come down the farm straight in towards Old Paddock Bend. Yep, just going off De Samaniego, so a bit of ground to make up for him, of course. 2 RlyR Motorsport cars close behind as well. So really impressed with Golder's recovery. Started 15th in the grid. Oh, contact there between Sam Hill now and De Samaniego. So that has sent De Samaniego sliding into the barrier onto 2 wheels as well. That is some serious drama for the Mexican. Goodness gracious, look at that as well. Now he's under threat from Dave Morley, of course, and number 25, Tom White. In towards the final corner they go, and straight into the pit lane peels number 6. So looks to be a bit of damage on the car, understandably as well, of course, for De Samaniego, Nick.
Yeah, and it looks like he was the innocent victim in that. Of course, Sam Hill is a lot faster than him, which can look like you have the door open for you, but Manuel was just taking his normal line, travelling at normal speed, and just got surprised on the inside there, and now he's having to go to the pits. Looks like that is his 2 races done and dusted. And Joe Nathan very scribbly through there, and somehow Realish Racing just threading the needle and managed to get by up in 6th place, but Joe Nathan's not going to give up here.
Yeah, very impressive actually for Joe Nathan not to lose it after that incident. I had a bit between my teeth going through there, in towards the right and the left-hander of Bobby's. And still Nathan harassing the back of the Lithuanian's car. Incidentally, a Lithuanian livery on his car as well, which is quite apt, I suppose. Through the right-hander they go now. And just about to come across the line. Of course, the 2 RlyR Motorsport cars then.
Oh,
so that's
Golder's challenging around the outside of Lambert there.
Certainly is.
And looks like he might have actually made the move done. He has. Is Lambert going to come down the inside? He does, deep on the brakes.
Oh, Lambert nearly lost the rear, and that's going to allow Sam Hill to take advantage of it as well. So Sam Hill obviously not struggling with any damage after that incident with De Samaniego just a couple of laps ago. Hill up the inside maybe of Lambert. No, Lambert going through, but just going off the circuit as well. So will he have gained an unfair advantage from doing that? I don't think he will have done, but look at this train of cars. We're used to talking about a Trilly train in Formula 1. Now we've got a Lambert train in the British SP Cup. And of
the
course,
Lambert locomotive.
Here we are, quite like that one. That's pretty impressive. So Lambert just ahead of Sam Hill, just ahead of Golder now as well. In towards the final corner they go. And a bit of argy-bargy going on. Hill around the outside. That's a cracking overtake there from the Scotsman on the Tropico Motorsports number 91. So great bit of opportune driving from Sam Hill, really displaying why he should be a force to be reckoned with in this championship, Nick.
Yeah, we're just so close and so tight, but he managed just to get it on the right place. But James Lambert's not giving up here. In fact, that's Bjorn Golder who's gone past him. So, oh, and he's gone wide again. We've seen Golder do that so many times. He makes the overtake, and then he just can't get it to stick on the outside there.
Yeah, of course, a bit of a yellow flag to that as well, but nonetheless, keeping things righted at least and not going around the wrong way. Looks to be struggling with his rear tyres, I must say, does Golder. Looks to be struggling with understeer as well, so probably not the right balance he's got in his car. Maybe needs to shift the brake bias a bit, see whether that can help him. Very limited options these drivers have got, of course, behind the wheel of those cars. Meanwhile, look at this, still ensuing onwards between the two Tropico Motorsports cars. James Lambert and Arunas Linkevicius. Meanwhile, James Lambert just defending now from number 21. That, of course, is Joe Nathan. Around the outside goes Linkevicius, looks to get ahead of his teammate. That is cracking. We've seen that overtake done before just a couple of laps ago. And now around the outside goes to number 8 or number 91, gets himself ahead. Meanwhile, look at that, Joe Nathan as well. And I believe that may well be number 13 it is. So Neil Heatley running in a very strong and promising position on lap 9, Nick. So a very, very interesting and very close scrap, actually, for a podium position.
Yeah, and Bjorn Golder's already latched back onto Marunas, goes a bit too wide there, and James Lambert's back through on his teammate. So this is the battle for fourth position, as looks like Manuel de Samaniego is going to get away from them. Sorry, Sam Hill, as Bjorn Golder, as I said before, has caught right back up.
Contact between the two teammates. That's not what you want to be doing. Oh dear, and that's going to allow, surely. Oh no, contact
Joe
there.
Nathan, oh god,
into the barrier,
off.
and now I believe that is Bjorn Golder once again. His race ends up in the barrier. I wonder if he'll be able to keep on going, but I think that might have been the concertina effect once again from the two teammates coming together, and Joe Nathan just had nowhere to go by the looks of things. Let's have a look, Nick.
Yeah, there's the two Tropico cars getting together, and it kind of makes a bottleneck here. And oh, Joe Nathan trying to avoid him.
And Golder just unsighted. Golder just unsighted, going straight into the side of him, unfortunately. So that's really going to put pay to Golder's race. So RlyR Motorsport, the number 10, of course, Bjorn Golder had such a promising race. Looked to be on course for a good couple of podiums. Meanwhile, battling with someone else who's on the recovery. That, of course, is Alex O'Dell in 13th place at the moment. So some very, very interesting racing. I never would have predicted this coming in towards Castle Combe, and it's been very interesting, of course, without the title favourite James Price Harper in the race. So we'll see whether he can defend his lead of the championship next time out, of course. Meanwhile, there's Popplewell just being challenged from Golder up the inside. Through the tower they go, and in towards Bobby's once again. Popplewell just defending from Golder. So great bit of defensive driving from the rookie, really displaying that he's got some nice racecraft in a very lovely liveried car, I must say, for Popplewell. Very simple, very eloquent, and very, very striking as well. Around the final corner they go, and surely Golder is going to be able to get something on the slipstream heading in towards turn 1, maybe even turn 2. Meanwhile, of course, out in front, it's April Dillon, 3:14. We've hardly mentioned her throughout the race, Nick, but she has put on a cracking performance, but only just defending.
Oh no!
Lee Harrison, and going is spinning, or not spinning, half spinning, I should say. Lee Harrison then takes over the lead, does the offender's driver, and now under threat from Sam Hill. So Dillon down to 3rd after a very minor mistake. This is exactly what I was saying in the last race. One small incident can put pay to the rest of your race.
Yeah, it's such a momentum track that any loss of momentum, in fact, should I say, is going to punish you. And then, so April Dillon being tagged there by Lee Harrison, and then loses enough speed that Sam Hill just has a clean and easy overtake, but she's not letting it get away. So we could see her try and come back on Sam Hill, who was our race 1 winner, but he might just have too much pace now for the Swede.
Yeah, maybe certainly so. Let's wait and see whether Sam Hill can do that. A bit sideways going through the right-hander there, I believe, of Quarry. Just going down the farm straight into the S's they go. Number 147 going slowly. That would be Charlie Marriott, I believe. I've hardly mentioned Charlie Marriott, of course, sitting fairly close towards the back of the field, I'm afraid to say, for the number 147. It's had a bit of a quiet race, but it's proven to be, if you have a quiet race, generally you do quite well so far. So Joe Nathan there in 9th place, so number 21 down the order further than he would like to be. Tom Alderton there, a lap down, as well as Rob Covey. Haven't really mentioned Covey, of course, throughout this race either, but still sitting there in 21st and last position at the moment. Dave Morley coming in towards the right and then the left-hander of Bobby's, just defending from Joe Nathan now as well. So number 149 versus number 26, and into the final corner they go. Still no way through there for Joe Nathan. Going to have to bide his time very nicely, but got a bit of a run there and has contact with Dave Morley. That was very impatient there from Joe Nathan. He should have realised that he would have had the closing speed on Dave Morley, and Morley goes spinning around and down the order. Does keep things righted and round the right way at least, but now down out of the points, I'm afraid to say, for Dave Morley. So nonetheless has had a good race, up until that point, but going to pop for him there. Meanwhile, look at that, Alex O'Dell still trying to get ahead of Adam Popplewell at the moment, and in towards the right and the left-hander of the S's they go. Very quick part of the circuit, it must be said. And still Popplewell just defending. Who's that going off? That's Dave Morley. Yeah, having another incident. We haven't really mentioned Pete Walker in this race as well, actually, to be honest with you. We'll try and mention him a bit later on. Crawford there in 13th. Dave Morley now in 14th place, and I think that was that Joe Nathan going off as a game?
Yeah, it looks like he might have a bit of damage to his car, and this looks like he's slowing a lot and going offline, so maybe it could be the end of Joe Nathan's race, which would be a shame to see.
Yeah, most certainly so. Still 23 defending from Neil Crawford there. In towards the right-hander they go of Folly, the very quick, flat-out, easy flat right-hander of Folly, up through the right and then the left of Avon Rise. And then it's Quarry, of course. Lee Harrison and Sam Hill still battling for the lead of this race. Lee Harrison, of course, the very, very experienced driver in the Realish Racing Championship, with the rookie Sam Hill, of course, who took his first ever victory in Realish Racing last time out in race 1 at Castle Combe, looking to do much of the same here. He could be on for a very, very impressive double victory, but not if he continues doing things like that, though, Nick. Going wide out of the final corner is certainly not the way you want to be able to make up an advantage over your rival.
No, but he's managed to keep it straight. We saw him do that towards the end of the first race, of course, and just seems to be able to keep it going. He's not being too greedy. When he's going offline, he knows he has to slow down and not make any sudden rash moves on the steering wheel. And already, as we see, he's paying dividends because he's coming right up to the back of Lee Harrison again. And I think, is that Rob Covey there with the front bodywork missing?
Yeah, it looked like it. I did just notice that, actually, pointing at the screen. Funny, really, because you can't see that. But yeah, it is Rob Covey by the looks of things, with a bit of bodywork missing, so they won't be able to repair that in the pit. So I think he's just going to have to coast around for the next 11 laps with a bit of bodywork missing, and quite crucially, a lot of front downforce missing as well. So his front tyres are going to be ripped to shreds by the looks of things by the end of this race, Nick, by any means.
Yeah, of course, once you lose all that aero, it places more strain in your tyres, which overstresses them even more. And of course, they're designed not to take more load than they already do. So here's Arunas Linkovacius trying to recover from an earlier little spin there. He's right on the back here of April Dillon, so this is for the final podium position. Not quite around here, but you have to think, with 10 laps remaining, it's only really a matter of time for Arunas to get by, unless some kind of incident happens. Yeah,
most certainly so. So number 314, who we're on board with now. Very smooth driving style as April Dillon got. It's what I quite like about watching her. Very, very impressive. By the way, if you do want to follow us on Twitter, Realish Racing, you can, at Realish Racing. You can find us on Facebook as well, as Dillon goes a bit wide through the S's. And that's going to allow Linkovacius to catch right up onto the back bumper of the Radical. In towards the right-hander they go of Tower.
She's opened the door again.
And she has done, left it very, very wide and open. And now that's a very clean run through Bobby's they go. Oh, losing the rear does Dillon, so not going to be able to launch her defence on Linkovacius right at the moment. Have to have another couple of clean laps to be able to get the advantage back on the number 314 at the moment. Around the final corner they go, and in towards turn 1 of Folly and down Avon Rise. Still the battle for the lead, though, ensuing onwards between number 7 and number 314. Sam Hill, of course, sorry, number 0 rather, 00. Sam Hill, of course, who's at the fast lap, and Lee Harrison going wide. In towards the right-hander they go of the S's, and gets up into the lead. Does the Scotsman. A great bit of opportunity overtaking there, and look at how sideways he's getting. Really, really pushing the rear of that Radical at the moment. Aureus Motorsports then takes the lead of this race, but for how long? Looking up the outside does Lee Harrison. through Old Paddock Bend and into Tower now and into Bobby's. No way through there for the number 7, so going to have to settle for second best at the moment. Will the offenders drive us? To the offenders with one man down, really not having a good race here at Castle Combe.
Yeah, it would have been a prime opportunity here for Lee Harrison to grab a few wins away from his teammate while he's not here, but he hasn't managed to be able to do it so far. We've got a yellow flag out here somewhere. Not really seeing why that is, so maybe just a minor little incident. Oh, it's Alex O'Dell.
It is O'Dell without a bit of rear bodywork and front bodywork by the looks of things, so he's had a bit of a shocker, judging by what's happened. We'll hopefully get a replay of that instant, but yeah, missing a lot of bodywork there. Sparks flying off the car. You've never seen a Radical so naked. Here we go then, Nick.
Oh, just goes a bit too wide.
Flips the wall, and that sends him pirouetting into the scenery, I'm afraid to say. So O'Dell's race looks to be pretty much run now. I'll be very, very surprised if he can continue that. And it was quite a hard impact he took into that tyre barrier, more so visible from the external shot than it was the on-board. Meanwhile, still ensuing onwards, the battle between the lead, the offenders versus RlyR Motorsports. Speaking of the offenders, by the way, James Bryce Harper, of course, the championship leader going into this round at Castle Combe, was not at this event. However, we do actually have him up here in the commentary box with us. James, hello.
Hello, Tom.
How are you keeping? Are you well?
Not well, that's why I'm not racing, I'm afraid.
I see, that's what the problem was. So, it's been an interesting race so far. Look at this battle going on between your teammates at the moment. We've got Lee Harrison still trying to challenge Sam Hell, and the back marker coming into play as well. We'll come back to you in just a moment, James, if you don't mind. But looking at the inside, any which way he can for Lee Harrison, but he's driven a very, very good race given the circumstances.
Can't argue with the podium, but it's not good enough. If he wants to beat me, there's only one result he needs, and that's a win.
Stamping your authority at least. James Bryce Harper up here in the commentary box with us for the rest of this race. 5 laps now remaining. Another yellow flag we can see on screen at the moment. Not entirely sure why that is. Can't have say I've seen an incident. Manuel de Samaniego also out of this race, as well as Jamie Hunt now as well. O'Dell still in the pit lane. Doesn't look to be going any further, unfortunately. But of course, we've got Lee Harrison still challenging for the lead, and as we just heard from James Bryce Harper, it's a win that he wants. It's a win that Bryce Harper wants for the offenders, and it looks fairly close between them, so it could be anybody's guess. Look at how ragged Hill was going through the right and the left-hander. No relation, of course, to Damon or Josh Hill. Here's Pete Walker having an incident, the other power driver, and exactly the same, pretty much, actually, as Alex O'Dell. A carbon copy. So a magnetic attraction to the outside barrier there by the looks of things, Nick. And nonetheless, is there going to be Walker's race over as well? Could it be another, could it be a double non-points finish for power?
Yeah, it looks like kind of a glancing blow there. Not quite as hard as Alex O'Dell's, but still enough to send him right into the barriers. And in fact, yes, it has caused internal damage. So no bodywork missing, but unlike his teammate, he's out of this race.
That's very disappointing for the power team. Such promise going into the round here at Castle Combe, the second round of the championship. Very optimistic was Alex O'Dell coming into this race, especially after his performance at Donington Park, but it's not gone his way. That is racing. Of course, Alex O'Dell, very good friends with April Dillon at the moment, and Dillon just defending from Neil Heatley. Heatley having a cracking run in this race, it must be said. Through the right-hander, who's that going off in the foreground of the shot? Is that Ben Haddleton? I believe it was. Yeah. So number 777 having a spin. Keeping things righted with 5 laps remaining. Through the right and the left-hander they go of the S's. And look how close to the grass Dillon was getting there.
Who needs curves when you got grass, eh?
Exactly. Go grass trainer. They want to try their hand at rallycross, these guys, because they're getting pretty good at it. Look at that, Neil Heatley trying up the inside of number 314. In towards the right and the left-hander of Bobby's. They go West Way now. And still Dillon just defending from Neil Heatley at the moment. Are you impressed actually with Neil Heatley? He's come to this championship and has proved to be very, very quick, James.
Yep, a lot of these rookies are. He's another one of the rookies that are doing well, but yeah, there's only one step that the rookie needs to take, and that's joining the N team. So you know where to contact us if you want to join a new team.
The message is out there now. What's he trying to say? It's only because I'm not racing in this. Lee Harrison now having a bit of an incident there. As we say that, what we said, the commentator's curse! Into the barrier goes Lee Harrison. My goodness, that's going to send him down past Linkavicius then. So Lee Harrison down to 3rd place and the final podium position there. God, dear, you must have your head in your hands, James.
Well, speechless. It's the word. Words. Gonna need to have a few words with my teammate. That's unforgivable.
Unforgivable. I like that. 3 laps remaining here at Castle Combe. It is, of course, still Sam Hill who leads it now from Arūnas Linkevicius, and then Lee Harrison, who we're looking at in 3rd place. Just coming over to 2 laps now remaining. It is Linkevicius there, the Tropico Motorsports Lithuanian driver. Has had a very, very good run in the race and a very good run in the series so far, and looks to be on course to bag another podium, Nick. That'll be a great result, and really demonstrating that Linkevicius is pretty much better than the rest.
Yeah, another cracking performance. He got second last race on the line, really, after we saw Joel Ethan spin. Looks like he's going to have a bit of a less dramatic charge here to second position. But he's demonstrated really good pace, he's demonstrated really good racecraft. And another man who has done so, Sam Hill, here, as we've only got less than 2 laps to go, is going to lap Niall O'Connell for PSP. Incidentally, PSP Motorsport isn't a tribute to the handheld gaming device. It's actually a Spanish acronym for Pilotos Sin Pantalones, which means drivers without any pants.
I see. Well, there you go. You learn something new every day. Oh, dearie me. Look at that. Sam Hill around the outside of the no pants driver of Niall O'Connell. Not looking to get, or does get ahead of him, actually, as a matter of fact. Of course, Sam Hill a lap ahead now of Niall O'Connell. So there we are. How long did it take you to learn to pronounce that PSP Motorsports team name, by the way, Nick? That's very impressive.
Oh, it was just naturally done.
Naturally. I'm off to Spain in a couple of weeks, actually. You can teach me a few things. Meanwhile, look at that. That's Neil Heatley, of course. Just defending now from, just trying to get ahead, rather, I should say, of number 314, April Dillon at the moment. So Dillon having a good run, nonetheless. Still further back than where she qualified, so not where she will have wanted to have finished, but nonetheless a great amount of points she will get for the Junior Motorsports team. Of course, she raced last season with Rob Kobe's Howler Racing outfit, and of course has now jumped ship to the Junior Motorsports outfit. Around the final corner comes April Dillon, on towards to start her final lap. Such is the advantage, actually, that Sam Hill has got. He's almost coming up to be a lap ahead of his nearest rival. So that's jolly impressive, I must say, from Sam Hill. We could have 2 from 2 winners. This will be a double win, of course, here at Castle Combe. We saw James Price Harper take a double win at Donington Park as well. So it will be 2 from 2 here at Castle Combe before we head over to round 3. Will it be 3 from 3, or will James Price Harper, on his return to the championship, be able to go straight back into race-winning ways? I'm fairly sure that he will be able to do something along the lines of that. As I look over to him the right-hand side, he looks to be pretty confident of doing that. But meanwhile, it is Sam Hill's day, of course, here at Castle Combe. A double victory for the Arūnas Motorsport driver. It's Hill then who takes the victory here, weaving across the line. A great result there for the 00. And Arūnas Linkevicius finishes second for Tropico Motorsports. Another podium for the rookie. Lee Harrison of the Offenders rounded out in 3rd position for the number 7. A great bit of racing it was there, Nick, and an action-packed event as well here at Castle Combe.
Yeah, not quite the destruction derby we saw last time, but plenty of good, clean racing that time round. Less incidents, obviously, fewer incidents as they bedded into the track and kind of worked out the kinks a bit more with race practice. But there we go, Sam Hill, who needed no extra practice at all, takes the double victory.
Yeah, jolly impressive, I must say. Sam Hill gets very top marks from us here in the commentary box. What did you think of the racing today here at Castle Combe then, James?
Fantastic, clean racing, Sam Hill. Great double victory, but I'm coming for you, Sam. It's not for you, it's for me.
Threads launched and locked. There we are. So Sam Hill takes the victory. James Price Harper looking to change that, of course, for round 3. Will he be able to do it, of course? Well, we'll find out when we look ahead to round 3 of the championship. But there we are, Nick. It's Sam Hill who takes 20 points. So 2 rookies on the podium.
Yeah, pretty good. Of course, as we said before, they are rookies to this series, but they are quite experienced hands at sim racing. Neil Heatley there as well in 5th. So 3 rookies within the top 5 just goes to show what big influx of talent Realish Racing has had for this season. So Adam Popplewell, who we saw last time out, just missed out on the points, actually gets into 11th position. So really good result here all round, apart from for the 2 Team Atoms who were involved in quite a few incidents, and I think we saw one of them end the race. It might have been Charlie Marrett with no front bodywork, as did Alex Odell, who had almost no bodywork at all. Somehow managed to limp towards the end, and Rob Covey brings up the end of the finishers. So here's the stands after round 2. Lee Harrison actually leads the championship because he's raced all 4 rounds. Arūnas Linkevicius staying with 47 points second, and then we have James Price Harper and Sam Hill tied with 2 race wins each That's 40 points each, but of course both of them have missed a round, so when it comes round to the end of the season there is a drop scores all in effect, and we might see those two actually be the two who challenge for the championship overall. And James Lambert had a good result there, that brings up 7th. Tom might get some points on the ball, which takes them up to 15th. Kernel Sports, Dan Thorne sadly has had to withdraw from the series for the time being, so he's stuck there on the 4 points he has at the moment, down 17th. Jamie Hunt drops a few points as well. See, Tom White has leaped for quite a few. Adam Popwell, 2 points on the board from that race, and here we are bringing up the rear. Tom Colantine and William Walker in the current battle for last place. The offenders, no surprises there, still leading the way even though they only had one car turn up this time round. 20 points ahead of Tropico Motorsports, who had a good haul round with Arunas' double second place finishes, and Aureus leap up into 3rd position ahead of Power.
Yeah, most certainly so. It was a fantastic race here at Castle Combe's circuit at Wiltshire in England, of course. We will see you for round 3 of the championship in just a couple of weeks' time. But Nick, some closing thoughts on the race?
Yeah, well, great actions. We've seen some spectacular fireworks in race 1, and then some good, clean, hard fun in race 2. So as you say, round 3, Alton Park next time. We'll see you there.